Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Caroline, I'm a lecturer in physics here in the UK, so I work and teach and research at a university. I post every Monday and Thursday, and this week I thought I would open the week by discussing the wonderful letters that sometimes appear after people's names. You may have noticed this if you've been corresponding with a lecturer or an academic, an industry professional. They may have in their email sign-off a whole list of initials and letters after their name, and you might be wondering what they all mean, why they're there, and why we use them. So I've got a few letters after my name. I'd like to have probably a few more over the course of the rest of my career, hopefully, if I'm lucky enough to get them. But from what I can see, letters after people's names tend to fall into three categories. So category one, I think, is the one that we're probably most familiar with, and that's where somebody's earned those letters by achieving a qualification. So typically a degree or a diploma or a master's, and because they've passed that course, they get to have those letters after their name. So that's when you might see letters like BSc, and that's signifying a bachelor's in science, or you might see MPhys, and that's a Master of Physics. Or you might see an MSc, and that's a Master of Science. You could see an MA, that's a Master of Arts. The list goes on, for all the different degree programs there are. If they're in the arts, the humanities, the science sector, there's going to be a set of letters that if you get that qualification, you can put after your name. Sometimes you'll see people put brackets ons. So you might see somebody put BSc brackets HONS, ons, end of brackets. And that means that they got their Bachelor of Science as an honours degree. And that means they basically got enough credits to be recognised within the honours system, and they've qualified with either a third, a 2-2, a 2-1 or a first. But quite often though you won't see the honours. People will just drop the honours bit when they use those letters. So that's category number one. These are the letters that go after somebody's name that indicate a qualification. Okay, so after the qualification letters, you might see that somebody now has other letters appearing, and they might be to do with the fact that that person belongs to a particular organisation, they have professional membership of a particular society that's recognised by their community. So in my case, I can put after my name M.Inst.P, and I can put C.Phys. So I can put those because I belong to the Institute of Physics, which is called the IOP for short. And the IOP is a society here in the UK. It was formed in 1874 and has over 20,000 members worldwide. Thanks Wikipedia for the facts and the numbers. But essentially it's a society set up for the promotion of physics within education, research and application. So transferring science and physics across the community, whether you're learning it, studying it, using it or requiring it for your job in the workplace. And the IOP obviously had a load of members that belong to it. So as a student, you can join up as a student member. And then after you've worked for a period or after you've had a number of years of experience, you can apply to be a member. And to apply to be a member, you have to fill out an application form, send up your CV. You have to have people who are going to support your application. And then the IOP evaluates it. And if they agree, you are allowed to be a member of the IOP. You can join the Institute of Physics. And if you become a member, you can put M.Inst.P after your name. And alongside being a member of the Institute of Physics, they also offer chartership. So chartership is something that you can get when you've worked in the field for a number of years. You can show that you're doing professional work at a certain standard. You can demonstrate your knowledge of your discipline and your area. And again, there's an application process to go through. If you're a graduate at a company, you might be able to work through the graduate scheme that company offers, and that can help you with stage 1 of your chartership application, which is where you fill out a competency log. And then you have to do a stage 2, which shows you working at a particular level, so responsible experience within the community. We can do a future video on chartership, why it matters, whether you should bother getting it or not. If you did get it, how about going to do your application? But I applied for it and I filled out all my records, and then when you're awarded that, you're allowed to put C.Phys after your name. So that gives me those two grouping letters after my name. So I can put my name, I don't put Ph.D because I put doctor at the front. Then I can put MPhys, I can choose if I want to put honours in brackets or not after that. And then because of belonging to the IOP, I can put M.Inst.P and C.Phys. It's getting quite confusing now with all these different letters going on. But of course, the Institute of Physics is only one professional body that is recognised. There are many that you could elect to join depending on your discipline and your area of expertise. So for a period of time, I belonged to the IEEE. That's the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers? What is it? For a period of time, I belonged to the IEEE. That's the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. Although I'm a physicist, because of my work crossed over into that area a bit, I could belong to their society as well. When I was in industry, I belonged to both the IOP and the IEEE at the same time, which was great because I got their monthly magazines, I saw their newsletters, I was able to go to some of their conferences at a reduced kind of conference registration rate. But belonging to these societies does have an annual membership fee, which is obviously reduced if you're a student and you've got the student membership, but when you become a full member, that fee goes up. When I worked in industry, I was very lucky and my employer actually paid for me to have 2 professional memberships. So they would pay for me to have the IOP and the IEEE, which was amazing. When I came to academia, the cost for belonging then fell to me. And so I decided to maintain the IOP one this year. And this year, although I'm doing stuff and I'm connected with the IEEE, I haven't formally re-registered my membership with them for this year, although I might reactivate it for next year, depending on what happens. So yeah, that is professional membership. And then along with the professional membership, I said I was a member. The next level up, I guess, from being a member is being a fellow. And so you can apply within the IOP to be a fellow. So that's an application process. And if you're awarded it, you become an F.Inst.P. So I'm an M.Inst.P, member of the Institute of Physics. And if I were to get the fellowship, I'd become an F.Inst.P, so a fellow of the Institute of Physics. And for that one, it's a longer application form. Again, you need to show your scientific standing. And because you're a fellow, now not a member, you need to have a significant body of work behind you when you put in your application. You may alternatively be nominated. So somebody might say, I think this person should be a fellow of the society, and you might get honorary fellowship. But if we go outside the IOP, we've also got something in the UK called the Royal Society. It's an independent scientific academic community, and it's formed to promote scientific excellence and scientific endeavours for the benefit of humanity. It's an internationally recognised community. They fund research, they organise events, they support science in the community, they support scientific researchers, they support those who've left science and are now returning to science. They have funding for those who want to transition from science in academia to industry and back again. They have funds where they look at exploiting science for benefit technology, international collaboration, and the Royal Society have something very prestigious, and that's the FRS, the Fellow of the Royal Society. It's a huge honour to become an FRS. It's a big deal if you get that, a huge deal to become a Fellow of the Royal Society. And if you get that, of course, you can put FRS after your name, and that means that any other scientist who sees your name knows that you've got that particular recognition from the Royal Society and that you're going to be a scientist, hopefully of amazing good standing, and do brilliant research or brilliant contributions to industry and the wider community. So they are your, I guess, professional membership qualifications, the ones that you get by belonging to particular societies. And finally, you may, at some point in your career, be awarded letters after your name to signify that you've done something in the community or something for your country. That means you earn some kind of national honours or national kind of recognition of what you've done. And here in the UK, that's things like the OBE and the MBE and the CBE. So you could, if you wanted to, get a lot of letters after your name over the course of your career. And some people choose to put letters after their name when they have their sign-offs. So sometimes you'll see people sign off their email and there'll be loads of letters after their name. Sometimes people don't like to use the letters after their name, they prefer not to. Sometimes people will choose certain letters after their name to put, but not all of their letters after their name. But yeah, you can, if you look at the letters after somebody's name, you can kind of, I guess, do a bit of detective work, and it gives you a little bit of insight into that person's career, the education choices that they've made, and a little bit of insight into what professional bodies they belong to, what societies they belong to, and if they've got any huge awards linked to their name as well. So yeah, in my case, I'm getting there. I've got a few. I've got my kind of academic qualifications. As I said, I belong to the IOP. And finally, I almost forgot. There's also ones that you can pick up for your kind of, I guess, teaching experience. So I've also got FHEA after my name. So that means I'm the Fellow of the Higher Education Academy. And that basically was something I needed to complete when I became a lecturer. So when you're a new lecturer, you go through a kind of learning and development programme. It lasts a year and a half here in the UK across 4 modules. And again, I can talk more about that if people are interested. And basically you look at learning styles, methods of learning, how best to transfer knowledge, ways you can adapt your teaching, different ways that people learn. If you complete that course, there's lots of essays, you have to do some presentations, but if you complete it, you then become a Fellow of the Higher Education Academy and you get to put FHEA after your name. So I hope that was vaguely interesting. I feel like I may have just confused everybody by saying lots of letters at this video screen, but never mind. If it was enjoyable, do hit the like button. It's really nice to see. And I hope it was a bit of fun to understand a little bit about the letters that appear after people's names. Have a good few days. If you've finished your exams, well done. If you're about to start a job, I hope it's going all right. If you're still studying, so you're doing your Ph.D. or maybe a master's project across the summer, I hope things are going smoothly. I'll be back on Thursday with another vlog about university lifestyle and what we're up to. But look after yourselves, have a great week. Oh, and yeah, if you liked it, do hit the like button on the video. So see you Thursday, take care, bye.